Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're launching an investigation into one of the absolute most defining questions of our generation, the AI labor paradox. So, is artificial intelligence this relentless job killer we've all been warned about? Or is it actually the ultimate job creator? We are bypassing the science fiction today to look directly at the hard data, the historical context, and the actual boardrooms where these massive decisions are being made right now.
Okay, let's dive into this with a number that literally sent shockwaves through the corporate world: 7,800. Back in 2023, IBM's CEO Arvind Krishna made huge headlines when he announced a plan to pause hiring and potentially replace 7,800 back-office jobs with AI over a 5-year period. This wasn't just some hypothetical, far-off projection. This was a major multinational corporation signaling a direct, immediate shift from human labor to artificial intelligence. And IBM absolutely wasn't alone here. Consider another striking real-world number: 700. The financial technology giant Klarna made this massive operational shift by replacing 700 human customer service agents with an AI assistant. The sheer speed and the scale of these corporate pivots made it feel like an entirely new era of work had just arrived overnight. Which really brings us to the central mystery of our investigation today. Is artificial intelligence simply replacing human workers, permanently locking them out of the economy? Or is it fundamentally transforming the future of work, acting as a catalyst for a totally new kind of labor market? To answer this objectively, we really need to zoom out for a second. Section 1. The Automation Timeline, a History of Technological Anxiety. To figure out where we're going, we first have to understand that this widespread panic, it's not entirely new. Across human history, we see this cyclical pattern of technological disruption. In the 1st century AD, get this, the Roman Emperor Vespasian actually refused to use a new low-cost method for transporting heavy goods because he was terrified it would put his laborers out of work. Fast forward to the 19th century, and we see the famous Luddite protests, where artisans literally destroyed mechanized power looms that threatened their weaving jobs. Then we hit the 20th century with the rise of computers and robotics automating routine manufacturing. And now, the 2020s, the era of generative AI. Truth is, we've been terrified of machines taking our jobs since practically the invention of the wheel. Section 2. Why AI is different, the paradigm shift. So, if we've survived all those past waves of automation, why does this current wave feel so distinctly threatening? Well, the answer lies in what researchers are calling Agentic AI. See, previous large language models were reactive. You typed in a prompt, it gave you text back. But Agentic AI goes way further. These systems proactively conquer goals and complete specific tasks. They don't just think, they do. They operate with minimal supervision, essentially mimicking the autonomy of a human employee. It's a total game changer. The core shift here is profound. Past waves of automation were really all about replacing mechanical muscle. Tractors and factory robots replaced physical exertion and manual labor. But modern AI, it's replacing the mechanical mind. It replicates cognition, language understanding, and complex data analysis. For the first time in history, white-collar, highly educated professionals are sitting directly in the crosshairs of automation. Section 3. Real-world case studies, the corporate battleground. Let's step out of the theory for a minute and into the actual corporate battleground. Remember our opening hook about IBM? Well, CEO Arvind Krishna stated in 2023 that they would pause hiring for back-office roles, particularly in HR and non-customer-facing functions, simply because AI could handle them. At the time, it looked like the definitive, undeniable proof that white-collar jobs were completely doomed. But then we get this incredible twist. 3 years later, in 2026, IBM's Chief Human Resources Officer, Nicole Lamoureux, announced they are actually tripling their entry-level hiring in the U.S. She explicitly noted, and this is crucial, AI hasn't so much eliminated jobs as it has rewritten them. Because AI now handles the routine coding, IBM's junior developers are spending their time working directly with customers. The technology didn't erase the need for humans, actually scratch that. It shifted human effort toward complex interpersonal problem solving. We see a similarly steep learning curve over at Klarna. Initially, their massive AI rollout was this undeniable financial success. They were projecting a profit boost of $40 million. Sounds great, right? But the backlash was remarkably swift. Customers started complaining about generic responses, operational hiccups, and just a total lack of human empathy for nuanced problems. Ultimately, Klarna had to step back and admit they went a bit too far. They scaled back the AI and piloted a blended workforce model just to bring humans back into the loop.
Section 4. The human impact. Automating versus augmenting. So, how do economists actually classify this messy, real-world reality? A 2025 MIT study brings the immediate scale into incredibly sharp focus. They estimated that 12% of jobs could currently be automated by AI. Now, while 88% remains safe for now, let's put that into perspective. 12% of the global labor force is a staggering number of people facing immediate, life-altering disruption. Researchers have identified that the impact basically entirely depends on exactly how the technology is used. On one hand, you have automating AI. This simply strips away tasks previously done by humans. It displaces labor, it pushes wages down, and it brutally hits low and middle-skilled workers the absolute hardest. But in stark contrast, you have augmenting AI. This doesn't replace the worker, it complements them. It creates entirely new tasks, things like prompt engineering or AI model training, and that drives labor demand up and significantly boosts wages for high-skilled workers.
But there is a massive hidden danger here that we have to talk about: human capital. See, entry-level jobs aren't just grunt work. They are structured learning environments where individuals acquire vital tacit knowledge. If companies use AI to just automate away all the basic tasks, they destroy the human pipeline. What does this mean for you? It means if a company stops hiring entry-level workers today, they simply won't have any experienced mid-level managers to run the business tomorrow. It's like chopping off the bottom rungs of a ladder and still expecting people to climb to the top.
Section 5. The future of work, predictions and possibilities.
Having looked at the history, the technology, and the corporate reality on the ground, where exactly are we heading? Well, the expert predictions represent a really wide spectrum of possibilities. First, you have these stark warnings, like Anthropic CEO suggesting up to 50% of entry-level office jobs could vanish by 2030. Conversely, you have the McKinsey Global Institute predicting the creation of 20 to 50 million totally new AI-related jobs worldwide by that very same year. And sitting right there in the middle is a renewed, intense debate from policymakers and tech leaders around universal basic income, or UBI, as a potential safety net if this displacement outpaces the creation of new work. Now remember, these are predictions, not established facts, but they absolutely show the sheer scale of the shift we are navigating right now.
Which brings us to our final thought. Through our investigation today, we've seen that while AI absolutely has the power to automate and displace, its most profound real-world impact, from IBM to Klarna, has been forcing us to adapt, to shift away from routine processing and move toward human empathy, strategy, and complex problem-solving. So I want to leave you with this to ponder. Will AI simply replace people, or is it forcing us to fundamentally redefine what it actually means to work? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.